Okay, I have 8+ years of experience in IT industry for QA automation. So I think one more joined, Srinivas. Yeah, good. Welcome, Srinivas. I have experience in both Selenium with Java as well as automation using a front-end automation tool called Cypress using JavaScript. Going forward, just I need a small introduction from your side so that I can understand where you are and where I need to take you guys. Okay. Uh, just a brief introduction, like your name, you're from, uh, are you really like you have any experience before, or are you a fresher? So if you have experience, what experience you have? Just a small introduction. We'll start with Suganya, if you don't mind.
Yeah, yes, sir. Good morning. Myself, Suganya. I have 5+ years of experience in QA automation. Uh,
Okay.
and in automation, I have only around 3 years, 3 to 4 years of experience, and 1 year of manual experience. So
Mhm.
right now, I want to learn Cypress. I have already have some knowledge about, but in-depth knowledge I require. So that's why I joined.
Okay. You have automation experience in which tool and which language?
Selenium, Selenium and
Selenium,
Java.
Java and Selenium. Very good. Okay.
Yes,
You are from?
Chennai.
Very good. Okay. Thank you. And Priyana, uh, we are not audible. Like you are not audible. We can't listen you. Okay, no problem. One more. The Srinivas was there. Okay, if just a chart. We have a chart here. So okay, I'll start the session. So if you have any concerns or if you have any questions or something, you can directly stop me or ask me, or you can raise your hand. Okay. So I'll start. I'll share my screen. Are you guys can able to see my screen?
Yeah,
Just
yes, sir.
come. Yeah. Thank you. So just go with the formal PPT. No need to worry. It won't be any boring. Okay. So those who have experience in automation, you know what is automation, how exactly the IT industry works, where exactly the QA stands in the SDLC, all these things. So we have multiple tools for automation, but why we need to choose a Cypress is a matter. Yeah. So I'll tell you why we need a Cypress, why it will be better than what we have the tools like Selenium with Java, all these things. So before going to start that, if anyone don't have an experience, if they are joining as a freshers, then we need to understand. We need to tell them that we need to make them understand that why we need automation here. So for a testing, so many people will think that automation means something like rocket science, all these things. No, automation is nothing but we are automating what exactly the human beings are doing in a testing process. So for that, I'll just taking a tool called Cypress. This is a front end automation tool. Why I'm calling front end, this is a front end automation tool, we'll came to know. So this is a perfect solution for end to end automation tool. So nowadays we have advanced tools. Cypress is the one among that. So we'll go through the slides for just 10-15 minutes, so that we'll get a clear picture what exactly we are going to learn in this course. So where we will be after this course, and why Cypress, why not other tools. So how exactly Cypress is advantage for us to learn better in faster and effective manner. Okay. Uh, so coming to this, so any course we should have an objective, like we should have a things what we are going to learn if we learn this course, right? So that's what there should be an outcome of the course. So at the end of this course we will have some outcomes, so that will give a clear picture that why we need to learn this course. Okay. So at the end of the course we will be able to understand what is automation. Okay. As many people joining here, we have some manual automation experience, freshers, we have the automation experience with some other tools. But uh, but at the end of this course, we'll understand that what exactly automation, why we need automation, all these things, and understand tools available in automation, code automation, and advantages of Cypress. So at the end of this course, you'll know, if someone asks why you learned Cypress, why not Selenium, why not Playwright, why not WebDriver IO, all these things. So you can tell that these are all the advantages. So that's what I learned. Or in interview also, many people ask, why, what is the difference between Cypress? Obviously they will compare with Selenium. So you can tell what is the advantage of Cypress, so why we need to learn this one. And we'll learn how to set up a real-time project. So in industry, if you join like fresher or 1 year experience or 2 years experience, then they don't allow you to directly fit into the framework creation, building a framework or all these things. They have the framework. What you need to do is you need to uh, optimize, or you need to write the test cases first. No, not even optimization, you need to write the test cases, you need to update the test cases. But once you keep on adding your experience, then they will allow to optimize, then they'll allow to get into a framework, all these things. So here we'll start from the scratch, and I'll take you up to creation of framework, configuration, all these things. So in the after setting the real-time project, then I'll ask you to we'll take you to write automation test cases using JavaScript. So Cypress is one of the best because we can do both end-to-end automation as well as API automation, that is called integration automation, generally called integration automation, that is API. So what is end-to-end automation is like whatever the functionality that UI automation what we are doing, as well as API automation. So these and all will understand once we go into the real classes. So AJAX functions. So if you are going to industry, you can't expect all the websites will be static. Some websites will be dynamic. Like if you take a website, e-commerce websites, just I will take a Mintra or Amazon or Flipkart. If you open them, I'll just, if you want to, I can show you. uh, if you go to Amazon e-commerce company, I just taken. See, if you just go here somewhere, you can find the elements will be dynamic. Sometimes these offers will be there. If you click on that, see, yeah, see this page will be there, right? So it will be highly dynamic. Some it will continuously changes, right? So the elements will be different, and then it will be highly dynamic here. So if you take some banking and all, there won't be any dynamic elements. So based on the company project you will get, you need to understand both static as well as dynamic websites, dynamic elements, how to handle that. So we'll understand that one also, as well as file systems. If you want to upload a file, if you want to download a file, if you want to alter a file, say if you want to upload a data of 1,000 entries, we need to upload by using a excel file, for example. So how we are going to handle that we are going to learn here. Then once after you are familiar with the automation code, building, framework, all these things, then we need to run the test cases, right? So we need to run the test cases. But say we have the code in my system. If you have a code in my system, I can run the code in my system, that is called local. But in production, in industry, we are not running the code in the system. But for training, we may run in a code in the system. But in industry, what we'll do, we'll keep the code in a GitHub, and we are setting a dedicated server for automation run. So what we'll do, we need to write a scripts, all these things, so that it will pull that code. It will clone the code from the GitHub to the server, whatever the server we have. Then there we are going to run the automation code. And we'll be familiar with running the code in headed mode, headless mode. Then sorry, once after the code runs, then what we need to do, we need to get the reports. So say we have 1,000 test cases. If you run that, so out of 1,000, maybe 980 get passed, 20 get failed. So we need to get the report, how many got passed, how many get failed, why it got failed, so what is the reason to fail. So we need to submit to our higher authorities, like higher hierarchy people, so that this is the reason it got failed. This is not a code issue, this may be a application issue, this may be a due to some elements change. So that, for that purpose, we need to report we need to get a report, right? So the generation and merging the reports, I'll show you in this class only how easy in the Cypress. So then pushing the code, commits, PRs, so this and all, if you already have a experience in IT industry, you will heard this type of terminology with the developers. So they will say that I have done a PR, merge the PR, I have done a commit. So here even QA people need to learn about what is GitHub, what is commit means, what is PR, pull request, so Git actions and CI/CD tools. So that's what automation using CI/CD tools. We have Jenkins, Azure. So we'll learn both Jenkins, Azure. That's a open source. We can do whichever we are familiar. Like you guys are okay with that one. So these are the outcomes. So at the end of the course, you are going to learn all these things. So after completion of the course, you will be in a position that if any interview person asks whatever the questions related to this, we'll be able to answer to that. We will be able to answer in a such a manner that you will be having an experience of at least 3 to 4 years in the Cyprus. That I'm sure that you are going to learn such a contents in this course. So any questions or any concerns, anything we missed here, so anything need to be added at the course, I'm okay if you guys can share. So if you have already attended some interviews or some problems facing in your previous automation, so what we need to add here, anything missing, else we'll go add, please.
Sir, how to
Yeah,
read data from Excel file and CSV file? So
yeah,
that I
that's what
want
we are.
to know.
Yes, yes.
Uh,
That's we are learning in a file system, FS.
okay, 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 sure.
Yeah,
So all kind of file system will be
yeah,
covered.
correct. Yes, 100%.
Okay, sir. And one more thing, for Cucumber, it will be covered. Cucumber
Yeah,
preprocessor.
sure, sure. Okay, for BDDs, right? BDDs.
Yes.
Yeah, yes, it will be covered. Correct.
Okay.
Along with the Gayatri language, we are going to cover BDD with Cucumber. So
Okay, sir. Thank
anything from others, like anything we need to add? Very good question. Yeah, sorry. So we are going to cover the BDD also. So majorly these are the concepts the interview person or company will expect from the candidates. If you have a experience in Cyprus with at least 3 to 4 years, that's the major concern for me. So coming to, if you don't have any concerns, then I'll go to next slide. So coming to
Sir,
Cyprus.
one second. Sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt. And
yeah,
all
sure.
the configuration settings like Cypress.json and the config.js file. So
Yes,
all the configurations will be covered as part of this course.
yes, correct.
Okay.
We
Okay.
are going to, yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right. So coming to next, what is Cypress? So people may have idea about Cypress, may not have idea about Cypress, may have some other tools also. So we need to understand what is Cypress, how exactly it will be different. Just I'm comparing with the Selenium here, so because that's the one of the competitive for Cypress now. So just I'm comparing. We have other tools also, but if you understand what is Cypress, why, how it is going to run, how it is going to work, then definitely you will get a clear picture that it will be have a better some advantages. So Cypress is a modern automation tool that uses the JavaScript for front-end automation. So Cypress itself built by using JavaScript, and we are building the automation again using a JavaScript. That's what the Cypress is reliable and faster. So it supports the JavaScript. Uh, So no need to worry. So what is JavaScript, what is the programming we need to learn, so how much we need to learn the programming here for automation. Comparing to JavaScript is easier, and because of the syntax. And JavaScript, no need to worry, we'll start with the scratch. We'll learn JavaScript basics, whatever it required for automation also. So those who are uh, don't have an experience with any programming language will uh, start with a scratch, and we'll understand how exactly the syntax, how exactly we need to. So those who don't have the experience, they need to learn out of these classes. They need to learn the JavaScript syntax basics. It may take 10 to 15 days to understand basics, but if you can put more efforts, then within 5 6 days you are going to learn the very basics of JavaScript. That you'll be uh, parallelly competitive with those who have experience in JavaScript. That's no need to worry about that. So the programming language, if you don't know the programming language, nothing to worry here. So because in Cypress, all things will, all the commands, all the syntax will be dynamically selected. But by keep on practicing, you are going to learn the concepts. uh, so this is front-end automation testing tool. So I'll tell you why it is front-end automation testing tool. uh, then it will be have many advantages. So few I mentioned here. So it have a full control. Once we go to architecture level, we'll understand that it have a full control, developer friendly. It works in a browser context, I mean, like directly runs in a browser. uh, Rerun test with a easy, I mean, like if you change the code, just save the code, automatically it will rerun. But whereas in Selenium, what we need to do, if you rewrite the code, or if you change the code, we need to build it and we need to run it. But here no need to build, we don't have any building tool here. Just save the code, it will run. And setup, obviously, 90% it is less complex when compared to other tools. It will be very easy, and it have a built-in debugging capability. We have the test runner directly, we have in UI, so you can see what exactly going on. Each line it is passing, if it fails, there only we are going to see where it fails, how it fails, and like why it fails also. So coming to next, why we need to choose the Cypress. No complex setup, as I mentioned in the advantages. Real-time feedback on every code change. If we change the code, it will throw the feedback. So whether it will pass or fail, all these things. Test runner shows the real-time run in a browser. Automatically waits. Yes, no need to keep explicit waits here. No need to give wait in every line. So it will wait. It have a built-in function that it will wait. Say we have 10 lines of code. First line it will execute. Until it execute the first line, it will wait for second line. Even if the page loading or if the element loading takes time, it won't go to next line and it will fail the first line. So it will wait for that and it will go to next line. So how much time it will wait, that also we can configure in the config.js file. That we'll discuss. So simple, all-in-one framework. No need to import the jar files. No need to uh, import for some other plugins. And plugins, we have multiple plugins for this one also. But framework, building tool, we need to import all these things. No, it is a end-to-end framework we have. So we are going to discuss with the Mocha framework. That's a familiar one and easy one. And logs, very easy, we are going to get the logs. And command line. So here in this entire training, I'm going to teach you both in a UI and as well as CLI methods. So because industry, many people expect only in a CLI, not in a UI, but I'll teach you both the way. You can learn slowly. Then coming to the architecture here, if you can clearly understand this concept, then Cypress will be easy. Okay. So before Cypress, so if you want to do end-to-end testing, please stop me if you're if you have any questions. So before Cypress, we if we want to do a testing, so we need to have some libraries. We need to install different uh, packages. We need to install we need to set up the framework separately. We need to have a wrappers. We need to have a building tool. We need to have, so all this separate extra works what we are doing, it entire thing will be done by a Cypress itself. No need to do any extra work here. It will be done by Cypress in with a single command. That is the major advantage. So that's what industries are moving towards the Cypress. Coming to this, it may be a complex for you guys to understand the architecture at the basic level, but I'll tell you why I mentioned it is faster, reliable, all these things in a first slide. I just tell you a simple architecture, but going forward, once you'll be familiar, then you are 100% you are going to understand this one. So there will be some prerequisite for this Cypress. One among that one is Node.js. Okay, Node.js. So we need to install the Node.js before installing the Cypress. So either it will be in a local or it will be in a server. So first we need to install the Node.js. Then after installing the Node.js, we need to install the Cypress. So I'll show you from scratch to at least one test case today. So you'll understand what is Node.js, what is Cypress, all this thing. So if you install the Cypress and if you run this Cypress for this web application, example, this web application is Amazon.com and we have the Cypress in my local system. So if I run this Cypress for this web application, so in the Cypress we need to mention this URL. So obviously Cypress will connect to that URL and it will take this web application. If you run this Node.js will create one proxy server. It will open a browser. So if you want to open a browser, you should have a browser in your local system, correct? So what are the prerequisites now? So if you want to run this Cypress, one is Node.js, one is a browser. Browser may be a Chrome, Edge, Firefox, anything. So at least one browser and a Node.js. Now I have a web application. I have a Cypress in my system. So this is my local operating system. But if you run this Node.js will create a proxy server and it will open a browser on that one. It will open a browser. So say Chrome, it will open the Chrome. Now this Node.js will create two iframes in the browser. Two iframes in the browser. Just no need to worry about the technology technically here. I just telling in terms of the normal terminology. It will open the iframes, two iframes. So this Cypress iframe and this is application iframe. I'm telling in a very simple concept. This is you guys know the iframe, right? It will open two window example. Okay, two window. So this is one Cypress window. This is application window. This application is nothing but our Amazon.com. This Cypress is what we running. So these iframe have a domain of our local system, that is local domain. It's a local host. Okay, you'll understand what is local domain, local host, local domain, all these things later. So these have a local domain, but this application is not a local domain. These have a domain called www.amazon.com or something. So what Cypress will do, where is the cursor? Yeah, what Cypress will do, it run some script automatically to this iframe, to this application iframe, and it will convert that Amazon domain www.amazon.com, that domain to our local domain. So what it will do, it will, Cypress will run a script to convert this domain from Amazon domain to our local domain. Now after running the script, no, we are not running the script, Cypress itself it will run. So after that, what it will happen, it will convert into local domain. This is already now local domain. Now both are in local domain. So this Cypress have more control over this application. You got the clear picture why I mentioned that it have more control. Both are in a local. It is making this application as our local application, local domain. So these have more control over the DOM of this application. All the elements, all the storage, all the uh, network related things, it have more control, and both are in a local domain, so it have a faster, it don't take more time to get the response. So that is what Cypress is a more advantage. So both are in a local domain, so we can, whatever the you do the changes in the code, it will push that code to our application which have in a local domain. So Cypress have more control over the DOM, it will take the elements faster and it will give the result faster. So this is how it will, all the things will work with the HTTP request. So this is the architecture I explained in a very basic, uh, in a simple words. Going forward you will understand what is proxy, what is network, what is web pockets, all these things. So this is about a simple concept of architecture in a Cypress. So coming to comparing here, installation, Selenium may take a driver setup. It required more work to install. It have a single npm package. Sorry, uh, runs it runs faster. Real-time loading, yes. Whereas in Selenium, we need to build every time. We need to run that. Automatic wait, yes. We need to give the manual wait there. No need to give here. Building tool, no, not required here, but in Selenium it required. So these are the basic advantages or differences with respect to Selenium. Okay, it may be boring for you guys to take the theoretical things. Okay, we'll go into session. Just I'll take you to the real hands-on session. So here we should learn one more concept called how we are going to write the code. So one second. Yeah. So how we are going to run the code, where we need to write the code, all these things. So those who have experience, you'll know that in industry, the code where we are writing, how the code are writing. So do we need to write the code for entire project? All these things, I'll just take 2-3 minutes to explain that. Those who don't have an experience, those who have experience, you will know where how exactly industry works, all these things. So if you want to write a notes in your classroom, what you will do, you will have a notebook, correct? So there you are going to write. Similarly, if you want to write a code in industry, if you want to write a code in a system, you need a notebook. You need a digital notebook, or what exactly we call that one is a IDE. So to write a Cypress code with a JavaScript, I prefer IDE called VS Code or Visual Studio. Okay, so this is the Visual Studio. I'll just close this and I'll just close this. I'll open. What happened? What happened to this? Yes. Right. Yeah. Sorry. One second. One second. Just a minute.
This conference will now be recorded.
Uh, yeah. We opened a Visual Studio, right? Sorry. This is the Visual Studio. So this is the IDE we are going to use, and we are using the JavaScript programming. And how exactly we are going to set up the project, a simple project. So you are going to understand. So here we have a explorer. If you open that, we need to open the project and we'll explore that. This is the search, this is the source control. If you are committing from here, commits, pull request, all these things. This is the debugger. These are extensions. So this is like plugins if you want to install. But we are not going to use in a UI. So everything we are going to use by using the CLI, that is terminal. Okay. So here, this is the Visual Studio. We have a terminal to open. If you click here, so it will open a terminal like this. If you click here, it will open a terminal. So by using the terminal, all the projects I am going to set up. If you want to understand UI, I'll show you in a UI also. First I'll show you in UI, then I'll show you in a terminal, so that you guys can easily understand. Okay. So here in terminal, I can set up the project. Before that, I just check where exactly, in which directory I am. Pwd. If you click on pwd, it will show the path. So under users, I am under naresh.ks. So uh, I'll just open this. I'll show you where the path is now. Inside this, inside the users, inside this. So now I am here. Okay. Now I need to set up a project here. But what I'll do, I'll set up a project inside this document folder. Instead of here, I'll just to demonstrate that how we are going to do in a command line also. So normally in UI, we can just open this and you can create a new project here. You can give a project called demo. So sorry, demo first class. Okay, so this is the name I have given for my project. So just what you need to do in UI, you need to create a folder. Okay. So inside document, okay, we need to create a folder. So then you can go here and open folder. So whatever the project folder I have created, right, inside, let me see, inside document, demo first class. See, this is the folder. You just open it. It will open your project, but inside the project nothing will be there because that's an empty folder. Correct. You can create this and you can start uh, configuring your folders, and that is nothing but you are setting the project. Or you can do, so once after the folder setup, the remaining things we are doing in a, we can see pwd. If now you see, this is under naresh case documents under demo first class. This is the directory. This is your root directory of your folder. Now you can do like this, or what I'll do, I'll just delete this. I'm showing both UI as well as command line method. I just delete this. Okay, just close this and reopen. Now if you check, that folder is not there because I deleted that one. There won't be any folder like this. So what I will do, I can create by using here only. So pwd. Now I'm in this one. I can check what are the folders inside. I need to go inside the download folder, right? So cd dot. So if you then change directory, if you click, now you are in downloads. Now what you need to do, we need to create a folder. There I created a folder. Here I'm going to create a folder. There is a command line mkdir. This mkdir is nothing but make directory. So this is a command line we need to use to create a folder. So what I need to do, demo folder, sorry, demo first class. So this is the way we can do it in command line. So this is the simple thing I'm explaining in both the way. So similarly, all the concepts I'm going to explain in a UI as well as command line. So if you click, now if you see inside this, we have multiple things. So what I will do, cd demo first class. So if you click, I think you need to change this one. Yeah, just to clear things. If you check the PWD now, same thing. What we have done in AY, we have done in a same way, right? So now, if you go and check, there is a folder now. Where exactly that one? Under documents. Where is the folder? Documents demo first class. Just once. Where I have done that? So shit. Sorry, I have done in a downloads. Okay. Uh, okay, that's not a problem. I just go to downloads. There should be a folder demo first class here. So what I will do, I'll just open this under downloads, demo first class. Yeah. It will first time if you open any folder, any project, anything, it will ask whether this author we need to trust or just give trust. Okay. So here I just created a folder. What we need to do, we need to check the prerequisites, right? So just we need a node.js, I told, as well as the browser. Just check node -f1 version. We have the node in my system already. If we don't have the node, you just install the node. uh, I'm not setting up the project like node and all. I'm not installing here. We can install that very simple. Go to node.js. So this is the official website. So you can go, you can just directly download the node and it will install, or you can do it in command line. So once we start the classes, I'll tell you how exactly we are doing the node setup, all these things. Already we have the setup, so I'll just go through the process. So after that, I have a Chrome browser in my local system. No need to worry. Prerequisites are there. So what I will do, I need to run this npm in it minus y. So this is the command we need to run to set up the project. Only three commands we need to run to set up the project. No need to worry about that one. I'm taking time and explaining each and every concept simple. So npm, what is npm is node package manager. That is the package manager. Once you have a node in your system, so npm is a command used to install any dependencies, any plugins, any packages by using the npm node package manager. This is the thing. In it is initializing the package. And minus y, if you don't give minus y, it will ask each and every line your options. So if you give like this, it will ask, so this line enter all these things. If you give minus y, it will take it default as yes for every line. That's the difference. If you give minus y, it will take it as yes option for all the lines. No need to worry. So once we set up the project in real classes, then we'll go through the each line and all. So if you give npm init y minus y, so if you click, it installed. We got the package.json. So what the package.json is, so this have a content that it includes the name of the project, what version we are using. So versions we can change. I'll tell you why we need to change the versions later. Main index.js, this all these things we are going to discuss. No need to worry. Scripts and all, how to write a scripts, all this. Then after this, one more command we need to run, npm install Cypress. So npm is a node package manager. What we are doing, we are installing Cypress. Simple command. If you click that, it will install the Cypress for your project. So what are the two commands we ran? One is npm init y, that is initiating your project, sorry, and npm install Cypress. We install the Cypress. Then once we run that, we got this package log.json. Okay, so we'll go through this. No need to worry all these things in a package log.json. This nowhere we have a control over this, but for this package.json we have a control. I'll tell you why. So after installing your Cypress, we got this extra, correct? So what Cypress we install, that's what this is. So why we are storing these all these things here? If this project, if someone imports to their local system, for example, today I have this project in my local system. If you import this entire code to your local system, then you need to run one command there. So no need to install all these dependencies, all the whatever the dependencies you want again and again. So it have this package.json have all the details of whatever the packages, whatever the dependencies, whatever the plugins you required for this project. So if you run one command in your system, once you import this code, it will install all the dependencies, all these things based on the data available here. So if you run this project in your system, the code is in my system. If you take this code and if you install in your system, then automatically it will install the Cypress with this version with single command. So we'll go through this one later. So node modules, no need to worry about this one again. So this is the project setup. So I just let me open, then you will understand. We don't have anything spec files, test files here to run, correct? So what I will do, npx Cypress open. So node package executor Cypress open. If we click, as I told, we have two iframes. I'll show you that. So you once you run that code, this is the iframe you are going to get. This is demo first class. This is our project. Welcome to Cypress. We have two testings here. Obviously we are focusing on end-to-end testing. Just it is not configured. So what you need to do is just versions, these all these things we'll discuss later. Just end-to-end testing, you just click here. It is not configured yet, you click here. So under E2E testing, this one, these are the configuration files it required for your project. So we are not creating any configuration files, we are not doing anything. It is suggesting us to create these files. So under project cypress.config.js is required. Okay, Cypress support E2E, all these four files. If you click continue, it will automatically create. See, now if you go here, under support we got this one, under fixtures we got this one, and we got this config file also, correct? Simple one. Where is that? Yeah, here. Now we need to choose the browser where we need to run our test cases. So why it is suggesting to, because I have in my system two browsers. If you have multiple browsers, all the browsers it will suggest. So just to go with the Chrome, start E2E testing. If you click that, we have not written any test cases here, but we are trying to run the test, correct? We are trying to run the test cases, but we don't have any test cases. That's what it is suggesting. Create your first test case spec file. We call spec file. So we have some example spec files, but I'll create a new spec file. So we have option to create a new spec file. It is showing under Cypress, under folder E2E end-to-end testing. I am creating this spec.cy folder. What instead of spec I'll do test. Okay, so to understand if spec is there, so we'll be confused. So I renamed it so that we can easily. So what I need to do, I just create a spec. It created a spec. Great, spec was successfully added. Now okay, so if you want to understand the test case how it will run, we don't have code, but it is giving its simple code. So this is the default code for any Cypress project. Okay, okay, run the code. That's what we ran the code, we got the result, it passed. So now if you see, this is one iframe, this is one iframe, correct? So we have two iframes. This is called application iframe, what we call this is an uh, test runner. So if you click here, this is template spec. If you go to code, see, where is that? Cypress ete, this is the test folder I created, right? This is a spec file. So every test case should have this format. It should have, okay, control X, one describe. This is the default syntax, no need to worry about that. Just describe. Inside that you can give any text and one function. Okay, we'll understand this one later, no need to worry. So what I have given the name here, template spec. Then inside I have written one test case. Test case should always have that it. Describe is one suit. Inside that we have different test cases. Okay, so you can use multiple test cases. So inside this pack suit we have multiple test cases. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. So what I will do, pass 1, pass 2, 3. I'm just distinguishing, like otherwise we it will be confusing. So we'll understand, we think that it same test case ran for 6 times. So what I done is, same test case I have written 6 times. You can change the test cases, no issues. So this is for login, this may be for logout, this may be for clicking on some element or getting some text. So like that, for example, in the project I have written 6 test cases. So what I have done is I added all this, I modified this file, right? So here, before it have only one template spec passes. Now I modified the test cases. What I will do, I just save this one. So if I save, see, automatically it ran pass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, correct? So that is what I mentioned, that it is a highly reliable, highly fast. It have more control, as well as whenever you change the code, automatically it will learn. So if you okay, what I'll do, I'll just put cy.log just to test log. Okay, I'll just save. You'll get this one. Inside this we have this test log. I just added one line, it got, but here it is not there. So like this, we need to uh, set up the project. Your project is set up now, but this is a very basic project. So what we'll do, we need to add furthermore things to add. We need to add furthermore, so that the project will be more suitable for your project. Okay, so coming to cypress.js, so I'll tell you, so that here I'm going to add screenshot. Okay, true. See, single line, screenshot on run failure, true. This itself shows that screenshot on run failure means whenever the test case fails, please take the screenshot, true. So this is the setup, and we are giving as a true. If you give true, it will take. If you give false, it will not take. Okay. So if you want, you can write this much, it will take the screenshot. Or if you want to define screenshot folders also, you can define. Just let it create. I'm not making more complex here. Okay, so it ran, no test case failed, so that's what it is not taking any screenshot. There won't be any folder created as screenshot. Let me change the code. So what I'll do, instead of cy.log, for example, I'll do some syntax error. So obviously this will fail. First test case failed, but we'll see whether screenshot took or not. No, there is no screenshot. Correct? Why? Even I configured I need a screenshot. It test case failed. It is not taking because screenshots uh, will not work for open. I mean, like headed mode. So this is called headed mode. This is called headed mode. We have a browser open in a UI. So what I'll do, I'll just close this. I'll I ran a command called npx cypress open. So if you run npx cypress open, it will open in headed mode. If you run, see, if you run instead of open, if you give run, it will run in headless mode. So UI will not open. So what I'll just go click npx cypress run. See, there won't be any UI opened here, but I can see one failed for 5%. Sorry, here it will show why it failed. cy log is not a function. Uh, all the description, how much time it took, screenshots, all these things. So you can see screenshots, where it's stored, all these things. Okay, report type, all the details you are going to understand. Now, if you see, we have a screenshot. Okay, so if you open this, it took a screenshot, but exactly not during the uh, test execution. In the first test case, only it took a screenshot, but it is not giving a clear picture. So we need to do some little bit configuration so that it will we can take a screenshot. Okay, so this is the simple things we are going to discuss in a first class. So I think we have only 4 minutes. So what I'll do, I'll wind up here.